Teeny Gamer here, and you already know the drill. Spiral this 3.8. It's new, so let's just beat it.
Things are about to get dicey. Witness the power of God.
This is order. Solidify.
Quietly now. Ring cutter. Game's up. Time's over. Shine down. Nailed your cheeks. Everybody stand back. Rock and roll. Let it frost. There is no escape. Let's light it up. Inazuma shines eternal.
Leave the wounded to me.
Shut up. Crush. Vengeance will be mine. Eye for an eye. Shine down. Going in.
Let's keep going, team.
Beg for mercy. Now you shall perish. There is no escape. Shut up. Final warning. Shine down. Everybody stand back. Beg for mercy. I condemn you. Victory.
Stabilize.
Busted. Let me read you a verse. Rain outlines your fate. Things are about to get dicey.
Solidify.
Game's up. It's over. Witness the power of the rock. Rain outlines your fate.
Illusion shattered. Leave the wounded to me.
Let's light it up. Freeze to the core. Eye for an eye. More speed.
There is no escape.
Crush. Beg for mercy. Shine down.
Teamwork is dreamwork. Let's keep going, team.
Torn to oblivion. There is no escape. Go in.
Engaging. Leave the wounded to me.
Rack and ruin. Vengeance will be mine. More speed. Now you shall perish. Illusion shattered.
Providing overtime.
Crush. Busted. Let me read you a verse.
Order guide you.
Things are about to get dicey. Higher, higher, in my fire!
Stabilize.
Time to witness the power of the rock. Know my sword. Gotcha.
Solidify.
Let me read you a verse. Game's up. Time's over. More speed.
Your journey ends here.
Now's your chance.
Everybody stand.
Sacrifice is ready.
Blood of frost. I condemn you. Beg for mercy.
The golden slumber.
Dance with me. Final warning. Let's light it up. That's gonna hurt in the morning. Let's keep going, audience, won't you? Inazuma shines eternal. Not done yet. I'm going in. Freeze to the core. Shut up. Rack and ruin. true form. Cryoing
One with wind and cloud.
Hold the line. Embrace the ice. Whirling snow.
Into the wind.
My will embodied. By ordinance divine.
One with nature.
My apologies. Allow me. Kamisato out. Sometsu. Take flight.
Cryo incarnate.
Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds.
Covenant of the deep. Hold the line.
Transfiguration.
The wind knows me.
There is no escape.
Hey, make yourself a room.
Germinate.
Here's the good.
Torn to oblivion. Illusion shattered.
The Temple of Wisdom.
Spring forth.
Sweet the deal.
Inazuma shines eternal. Shine down. There is no escape.
Everyone go in. Make yourselves a room.
Germinate.
Here's the good. Or
Torn to oblivion.
Surely not.
Scatter. Spring forth.
Now you shall perish. Shine down. Take your true form.
Into the wind.
Allow me. My apologies. Sakura swirl.
Transfigurate.
Billowing surge.
One with wind and cloud. One with nature.
Do your master's bidding.
Embrace the ice.
Wind strike.
My will embodied.
Whirling snow.
Into the wind. Clouds high. The birds.
By ordinance divine.
Make yourselves a room.
Germinate. Propagate.
Here's the good.
Inazuma shines eternal. Illusion shattered.
The Temple of Wisdom.
Scatter. Spring forth.
And there.
Torn to oblivion. There is no escape. Illusion shattered.
This way, Prettily. Make yourselves at home.
Terminate. Inazuma shines eternal. There is no escape.
Sharing my knowledge.
Spring form. Illusion shattered. Torn to oblivion. I will.
You are not welcome.
My will embodied.
The wind knows me.
Sakura swirl. Into the wind. Transfiguration. My ordinance divine. Take flight. Whirling spell. Illusion shot. Spring forth.
Make yourselves at home.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Sharing my knowledge.
Propagate. Terminate. Now you shall perish. There is no escape.
Make yourselves at home.
Torn to oblivion. Now you shall perish.
And that is it for the Spiral Abyss 3.8 run. I will say this, it is definitely 100 times easier than the last Abyss, just because there are not many shield enemies to deal with, as well as a lot of aggro enemies. So, this Spiral Abyss was pretty much easier than the others. So, well, of course I am going to be sharing my thoughts on Spiral Abyss, but I will share more of my thoughts and strategies on the commentary video of this Spiral Abyss. So, I'm just gonna give you a brief rundown on the floors. So, floor 11, not really that bad. Just robots, a bunch of samurai. This floor is just mainly to test your physical damage. Yep. Mainly the second half is for your physical damage, since there are no shield enemies to deal with. But the first half, the only problem is dealing with the Abyss Heralds and the Abyss Lectors. All you have to do is just bring the corresponding element to deal with their shields. So for the Frost Herald, it's just Pyro. For the Pyro Lector, it's just Hydro. Yeah, just bring any element that deals with their shields and you'll be fine. That is why I recommend a Animo support, mainly because it brings in the enemies so that you don't have to scatter around and beat them one by one. So yeah, 411's not really that bad. I mean, basically anyone can beat this floor. So yeah. And then for 412 is the main big boy hard floor. So, first chamber's not really that bad. It's just a bunch of enemies. Just bring the corresponding characters to help you. Mainly for the Abyss Lector, you want to bring a Hydro character. That's all you ever need, really. That's the only mandatory character you probably need to bring for the first chamber. For the second chamber, the mandatory character you need to bring is a Electro character, because you have to deal with its weak points. Also, a pro tip for Chamber 2, do not bring a shield character because the Black Serpents and the Shadowy Husks will retaliate with their shield of their own if you do have a shield character. So do not bring a shield. Don't bring a shield. And then for the third chamber, it's just basic Eremite enemies with a Mirror Maiden thrown in. As well as a, in the second half, is the Baptismal Bishop. So, you probably already know the gimmicks between these two bishops, but if you do not know, I'll just explain it. You have to kill them at the same time, because if you don't kill the other one in time, if you already defeated the other one, let's say you already beat the Rhyme Biter Bishop, but the Bolt Eater Baptismal Bishop has a half life or half health bar left. You have to beat it in time. If you do not get that half bar down to 0, it gets revived. So yeah, it's a real hassle. You want to split the damage between the two and defeat them at the same time. That is all you need to know about Chamber 3. So yeah, as you can see, and you probably already checked back on 3.7 Spiral Abyss, this is really easy. It is not even that hard. I mean, look at it. You just have to bring the corresponding characters to basically beat it. It's not like 3.7 where you have to deal with a bunch of aggro enemies as well as shield enemies as well. Yeah, that floor is a complete nightmare. Yeah, that is basically all I want to talk about on floor 12. Now it is time to go over the characters that I used on this Spiral Abyss. So, here we go. I'm just going to go on the character tab since I do not have any of the characters on my party, which means it doesn't afflict with elemental resonances. So, without any further ado, it's time to go over my team. So, for the first half of floor 12, we have Ayaka, who is extremely good, still good to this very day. Broken. She's still broken. So yeah, as you can see there, crit rate, crit damage is extremely high. Crit rate is like average, but I'll explain why it's average. Energy recharge, we don't really need that much energy recharge. Crowd damage is also pretty good too, as you can see there. Her weapon is the Mistsplitter Reforge, which is basically her best weapon. If you really want a weapon that basically is really good, but you can't afford a 5-star weapon, just get the Blackcliff. Yeah, the Blackcliff is an extremely good sword, but if you don't have money for that, and if you don't have money for the Battle Pass, just get the craftable katana. Yeah, the craftable katana is her best weapon as a free-to-play. But the Mistsplitter Reforge is definitely her best weapon. So if you do have the Primo Gems saved up for her rerun and her weapon but just basically shows up, then get it. It is extremely good. One of the best swords ever. As for artifacts, I have Blizzard Strayer, which is her best artifact set. As you can see here, it basically increases her crit rate by 20%. And then it increases her crit rate again by 20% if the character is frozen. So basically she gets a net total of 80% crit rate. So yeah, that's the reason why I have her at 40% crit rate. Because she crits all the time, it doesn't really matter. As for constellations, I have her C0. I'm not a whale, so yeah. As for talents, I have her 10, 6, 7. Yeah, mainly you want to level up this. This is the only thing you need to level up. So yeah, that is Ayaka. Even though her elemental skill and burst is basically average, she still put up her work. She basically did a ton of damage. She is a god. I might level up her talents, or all of her talents soon because I use her a lot now, thanks to the next member on our list, which is, if I could pull her up, Shenhua! One of the best, if not the best, cryo support in the game! Yeah, she boosts cryo damage. That's basically her main shtick. So yeah. As you can see here, her attack is extremely high. Her crit rate, crit damage is basically bad. But I did get her crit rate to 40, so she still is able to crit. It's just her crit damage is not up to snuff. So yeah. Her energy recharge is at 192, which is still pretty good. I wanted it to be 200, but you know, beggars can't be choosers. As for her weapon, I have the Calamity Queller, which is basically her best weapon. If you want another weapon that could probably fill in this role, then you could just run the Favonius Lance, mainly because you want to use her burst. But Calamity Queller is her best weapon. If you want to boost her elemental damage, and also boost elemental damage on everyone. So yeah, that's why I got the Calamity Queller. As for the artifact set, I have 2-piece Gladiators, 2-piece Shiminawa's Remnants, which is basically just 2-piece attack, 2-piece attack, yeah. If you really want to build your Shenhua, which is basically pretty easy to build, you just run 2-piece attack sets, and then you just run attack as your main stat. Yeah, that is basically it. If you do that, then basically she becomes a god. So yeah, boost attack even further, and you get rewarded with big elemental damage for your characters. So yeah, pretty good support. Yeah. As for constellations, I have her at C0. I'm not a whale again. And as for talents, I have her 666. Yeah, she's minimally built, but she's able to support the team nonetheless. So yeah, there is Shenhua. Pretty good cryo support. Thank goodness I pulled her because she is actually extremely busted. As for the next character on our team, we have Kaidehara Kazuha, which is the best animal support in the game. No questions asked. As you can see here, his elemental mastery is pretty good. His crit damage is also pretty good too, meaning that he could just crit a lot. His energy recharge is okay, but he doesn't really need that much energy recharge. Mainly because I use his E a lot instead of his Q. But his Q is pretty good anyway, regardless. So yeah. As for his weapon, I have the Iron Sting, which is his best free-to-play weapon. Obviously, his best weapon is the 5-star weapon he gets in the banner, the weapon banner. But Iron Sting is a pretty good free-to-play option, which is what I ran here. As for artifact set, I have him at 4-piece Viridescent, which is basically the main set that every animal character runs. So yeah, 4-piece Viridescent, obviously his best set. No questions asked. As for constellations, I have him at C0. Mainly, I want him at C2, but that's not gonna happen because I don't have Primos! I'd have to save! So yeah, forget about that. And as for talents, I have him at 6, 6, 9. Yes, I have this at 9. Mainly because I have to save my crowns for other things. But Kazuha Slash is mainly what you want to level up your Kazuha with. So yeah, there's Kazuha. Pretty good. Still good to this very day. Run in many teams. He's just God. Yeah, he's just the god. The god of us animal supports. So yeah. And as for our last member, which is basically going to be on a future banner, on the part 2 banner on this version specifically, is Sangonomiya Kokomi, who is a really good Hydro support and the best healer in the game. No questions asked. Yeah, the best healer in the game. As you can see here, her HP is extremely high. She doesn't have that much elemental mastery, but I mainly run her with a mixed team. Mainly because I flop her in and out of Dendro and Cryo. So yeah, that's why she doesn't have that much elemental mastery. If I do run her specifically on Dendro, then I would probably just give her a ton of elemental mastery. But as of right now, she doesn't really need it. So yeah. And mainly because she's just a Hydro Nebular. So yeah. Her energy recharge is also pretty good too. She doesn't really need that much energy recharge since mainly her kit is just throw down the elemental skill, and that's it. As for her weapon, I have the Prototype Amber, which is her best free-to-play weapon. If you really want to know her best weapon, it is basically the donut. Yeah, it's basically from her it's from her weapon banner. Yeah. Just get the donut. It's probably the best weapon for her. Prototype Amber is just a free-to-play option. That's why I just got her the Prototype Amber. Because I can't afford the weapon. As for artifact set, I have 4-piece Ocean Hued Clam, which is her best set in general. It's good for healing. It's good for sub DPS. It's just good at everything because it's good at healing because it gives healing bonus plus 15%. It's good at a sub DPS role because the more you heal, the more damage you do, up to 30,000 by the way. So yeah, that is pretty high damage. And you're mainly going to be hitting 30,000 anyway in Spiral Abyss because of how much damage you take regardless. So yeah, extremely good artifact set for Kokomi. But if you want to give her a just a support role, just heal instead of being a sub DPS or a main DPS, just give her the 4-piece Maidens. Yeah, 4-piece Maidens is just a full-on healing build. But if you want a sub DPS build with a little bit of healing, or if you want to make her a main DPS, Ocean Hued Clam is the best way to build her. As for constellations, I have her at C1. I got this by accident by summoning, so yeah. It's still pretty good though because it just basically gives her more damage on her Q and her normal attacks. So yeah, it's pretty good. And as for talents, I have her at 688. Yep. I will be leveling these up soon in the future, but as for now, I need to save up for other things like Fontaine. So yeah, my resources are a bit tight because of Fontaine. So yeah. But there is Kokomi, and there's the first half team. So now it is time to go over the second half, which is the Quicken team. I will say this, I probably should have just ran the Hyper Bloom team, the Raiden Hyper Bloom team, but I didn't do that. So yeah, the Quicken team was basically well enough to beat it, but if I did use the Hyper Bloom team, I would have probably beat the Spiral Abyss faster if I used that team. But the Quicken team is still pretty good, so yeah, it's time to just go over them. So here we go. The first member of the Quicken team is Raiden. Yeah, Raiden. Still really good. Extremely broken to this very day. You can't fight me on that. She's just way too good. As you can see here, crit rate, crit damage is pretty good. Energy recharge is extremely high. Way too high. Electro damage is also pretty good too. As for her weapon, I have Engulfing Lightning, which is her best pole arm. There are no other pole arms you could probably run except the catch. Yeah, the catch is a free-to-play weapon you get by fishing. So, either run this or the catch. Take your pick. As for artifacts, I have her at 4-piece Emblem of Severed Fate. It's her best set in general, best DPS set, best sub DPS set, best support set. No other set you'll probably run ever. So yeah. As for Constellation C0, I'm not a whale, but I will get her at C2 because this is extremely broken. And if I do get her at C2, then this basically just makes her a must-run on any team. So yeah. And as for talents, I have her at 10-10-10. Yes, I did max her out because I use her way too much. So yeah, there is Raiden Shogun. Still extremely good to this very day. And next up on our Quicken team is the Hida, who is the best dungeon support in the game. Yeah, no questions asked. As you can see here, her elemental mastery is pretty high. Her crit rate, crit damage is basically above. Her crit rate is above average, but her crit damage is just average. Her energy recharge is okay too. I didn't really give her dungeon damage bonus because she already has a lot of elemental mastery to go around. So yeah, I don't really need Dendro damage if I do have her at elemental mastery. Mainly because she gives a buff based on her elemental mastery, which is the only reason why I gave her elemental mastery in the first place. So yeah. As for her weapon, we have 1,000 Floating Dreams, which is her best 5-star weapon. If you really want the best free-to-play weapon, it is the Magic Guide. Yeah, the Magic Guide, surprisingly. That is a 3-star weapon, by the way. Which basically boosts damage if the opponent is affected by Hydro or Electro. Guess what? Bloom team, Quicken team. Yeah, that basically fits really well, yeah. The 3-star Magic Guide is her best free-to-play weapon, but obviously her best weapon in general is 1,000 Floating Dreams, because it supports the party and as well as gives elemental mastery, and it basically gives elemental damage as well, which is pretty good. As for artifact set, 4-piece Deepwood Memories, there's no other set you'll probably ever run on Nahida ever. This is the set. As for Constellations, I have her at C0. She works really well at C0, so I don't really need to give her more Constellations. And as for talents, I have her at 6, 10, 6. Yes, I gave this a 10 because it is extremely good. I'll probably give this a 10 too as well in the future, but again, as I would say, Fontaine is around the corner, which is why I am saving my resources for that. So yeah, there is Nahida, pretty cool. And for the next member on our team, who hasn't been showing their face in a while, is the Traveler! Yes, the Traveler! Who is still really good. Yeah, surprisingly. As you can see here, Elemental Mastery is okay, crit rate crit damage is pretty good, Energy Recharge is also pretty high, meaning that he could just spam his burst. As for the weapon, we have Sax Sword, which is his best sword. Yep, there's no other sword you'll probably run, just because of the cooldown chance. So yeah, if you use your elemental skill, it basically makes the cooldown to 0, meaning that you could cast another elemental skill, which basically helps him use his Q, and his Q is the main of his game. He is just extremely good on a bunch of Dendro teams. As for artifact set, I have 4-piece Gilded Dreams. The only reason why you would ever run Gilded Dreams is if another character, ahem, Nahida, is using Deepwood Memories. So if there's another character using Deepwood Memories, run Gilded Dreams. Yeah, that's basically it. As for Constellations, I'm at C6. He is basically free to get C6 since he is a free-to-play character. And he's basically the main character you play as. So yeah, C6 is available to everyone, so you basically get him at full power, which is pretty good. And as for talents, I have it at 699. Of course, these are boosted by Constellations. So yeah, pretty good character. Do not sleep on the Traveler. He is actually extremely good. So yeah, I used him. He is pretty good. And for the last member of our team, if I could find her, there we go, is Dory. Yes, Dory. Really surprised pick, because Dory is Dory is a odd pick for a lot of teams, mainly because she doesn't really synergize well with Quicken teams and other teams. The only reason why I brought her is because I wanted to be a little goofy. But yeah, Dory is actually pretty good. I built her properly, that's why I was able to run her on the Quicken team. But the main character you want to run on this Quicken team is Kukui Shinobu. Yeah, obviously, there's no contest on who the best Electro support is. It's Kukui Shinobu. But Dory is also pretty good too. I mainly ran her for heals, but Kukui Shinobu also heals as well. So yeah, it mainly depends on your preference. You want to run off the meta picks, or do you want to run meta? It is up to you to decide. So yeah, as you can see here, crit rate damage is like pretty bad. Energy recharge is also pretty good too. She has healing bonus, obviously, because she needs to heal a lot. As for her weapon, I have Favonius Greatsword. It's her best weapon. There's no other weapon you'll probably run because she needs the energy recharge for her burst. Her burst is her main gameplay, which is the reason why you want to run an energy recharge weapon. So yeah, run an energy recharge weapon. Basically any high elemental recharge weapon. And the 4-piece set I gave her is 4-piece Tenacity of the Millilith, which is extremely, extremely good. It basically gives her more HP, and also increases the attack by 20% for your party members if you cast your elemental skill, which is often a lot because her cooldown on her elemental skill is pretty low. So yeah, you can just spam that, and then you basically get permanent 20% attack, which is extremely, extremely good. Which is the reason why I ran Dory. Kukui Shinobu, Kukui Shinobu mainly runs the Gilded Dream set, so that's why I ran the Tenacity set on Dory, just to spice things up. So yeah, you don't really need the shield strength because she doesn't use Geo, but the attack buff is more than enough for the Tenacity of the Millilith set. As for Constellations, I'm at C3. She's still pretty good. Mainly this, I forgot which constellation it was. I think it's this, yeah. This constellation is basically what makes Dory, pretty good. If you want Dory, get her at C4. It's extremely good. And as for talents, 669, this is boosted by constellations, obviously. So yeah. There is Dory. Pretty good, Electro support. Obviously, there's better Electro supports you could probably run, but Dory is the off the meta pick, which is why I ran her. So yeah, pretty cool. And that is it for the Spiral Abyss 3.8. So main rundown, for 412, just run Freeze team, and then for second half, just run an Electro character or a Quicken team. Or any Electro team. Just bring an Electro character for Chamber 2. Not Chamber 2. Just bring an Electro character for the second half for Chamber 2. And then just run a Hydro character for the first half of Chamber 1. That's basically all you need to ever know for this Spiral Abyss. Just play it normally and you could probably beat it at 3 stars. It's pretty easy. Well, anyways, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you do enjoy it, please like it. More support is greatly appreciated, meaning that I could basically make more videos like this. If you really want to see more Spiral Abyss content, be sure to subscribe as well. Also turn on the notification bell if you do subscribe to not miss out on a single upload. I upload on a weekly basis, so stay tuned for more Genshin videos in the future. If you do subscribe. Also, comment down below, what do you think of this Spiral Abyss 3.8? Do you think it's okay? You think it's good? You think it's alright? It's fine? Or do you think it's pretty bad? Let me know in the comments down below. And thank you guys for watching this Spiral Abyss video. And I'll see you guys in the next Spiral Abyss video. Which is probably just going to be a commentary video on this, so stay tuned for that.